I want to revisit the concept of interest and how interest amounts affect your finances. How does interest play a role in your money and your account balances? If you remember, interest can be two different things. I can either earn interest, so interest could be the money that I earn. We kind of call that our free money. If I'm putting money into savings is a time when we would earn interest. If I put money into savings, I'm going to earn an interest amount. The bank is going to pay me an interest amount. So that's like free money. Another example of earning interest, it all has to do with savings. I could be purchasing a savings bond. Again, I'm going to earn interest on that. If I'm purchasing a CD from a bank, a certificate of deposit, not compact disc, but certificate of deposit. Again, that's a deposit. That's money I'm putting in, so I'm saving money. So I can earn free interest. On the other side, if I borrow money, interest would be the money that I have to pay. If you borrow money, you can't borrow money for free. I have to borrow money and I have to pay it back. The interest that I have to pay is considered the fee for borrowing money. The fee for borrowing money. But what does that do to your account balance? So let's look at an account balance. An account balance is made up of a principal, your principal amount, plus any interest. So that's my account balance. If I'm saving money, my total balance that I'm saving in my bank account would be the money that I put into it, the principal, plus any interest that I earned. That would give me my total balance. Same thing if I'm borrowing money. If I'm borrowing money, I have to pay back my principal that I borrowed, plus the fee, which is the interest. That gives me my total account balance that I have to pay back. Let's put this in a visual. Let's say we start off with $100. And after some time, I have $150. Maybe I'm starting out, I'm putting $100 into my savings account. So this is my starting amount, which we all know is called our principal. And maybe after the year, I end up with $150. So this is my ending amount, which we know is our account balance. Well, how much money did I earn? If I start with $100 in my savings, I ended with $150, that means the bank gave me $50 in interest, or that free money. $50 in interest. Same thing applies if I'm borrowing money. If I borrow $100, if I have to pay $50 for my interest fee, my interest that I have to pay to borrow that money, my total account balance to pay it would be $150. I have to pay back the $100 that I borrowed, plus my fee, $150. Okay? But then we also learned that there's two types of interest accounts. There's two types of interest rates. I could have a simple interest. I could have a simple interest. And we know the formula for simple interest is I equals PRT. Well, if I'm solving a simple interest formula, I'm solving for the letter I. That letter I is our interest amount. Simple interest formula is only going to give us our interest amount. Does it give us our account balance? No, I for interest. Well, how would we find our account balance? How would we find our account balance? We would have to add our interest. In order to get over here, I have to take my interest and my principal. I have to put them together. So principal plus my interest amount will give me my account balance. Principal plus my interest will give me the total account balance. That's one type of interest rate. We could also have something called a compound interest rate. That's where you're earning interest on top of the interest you've already earned. The principal plus the interest. But the formula is different here. I'm not solving for the letter I. I'm solving for the letter A. The formula solves for the letter A, and we know that A stands for account balance. So that formula is the principal times 1 plus the rate as a decimal to the power of t, or the time. So A stands for account balance. Account balance. This amount right there, the account balance. A. Interest stands for the interest amount. So if I know my account balance, this is telling me how much the total balance is, the principal plus the interest. But what if the question is asking me, how can I find out how much interest I had to pay or I had to borrow? Well, if I'm starting with the end amount, the total amount, I have to go backwards. I have to work backwards to find out how much my interest was. I'll know how much I started with, how much I either deposited or borrowed. I know my ending amount. To go backwards to figure that out, I have to subtract. So to find the interest, I have to take my account balance and I have to subtract. I have to subtract my principal. Think about it as you're having to work backwards. I'm starting at the end. I have to go backwards, so I need to subtract my principal amount. I hope this kind of helps give another overview. If you're still needing help and assistance with how to actually solve using these formulas, please go back and visit my video notes that were posted last week for solving for simple interest and a video for solving compound interest.